Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches Extra, or FRX as we call it. FRX is a chance for the gang to reach a little deeper with a one-on-one interview and discover people and topics that make this world worth living in. We hope you enjoy this random journey, and feel free to send in your suggestions or even call us out to be on the next episode of Far Reaches Extra. Hey, how your mom and there, and welcome to the Far Reaches Extra. That's the special time from the usual full-on Far Reaches where we have a nice one-on-one conversation. And this week, sharp-eyed viewers might already know we have our very first repeat offender. Second time around for Mr. Joe Blankenship with our Far Reaches Extra. Joe, a good day, fine sir. How are you?
I'm very good. How about you?
I'm stellar, my good sir. Stellar. Just had some tri-tip right off the fire. Barely made it in time for this. And it's just sitting on the counter. And so if I keep looking, I'm distracted. It's okay.
Well, I'll tell you, you probably saw in the news, we're in a little, I didn't know if I was in Athena, Oregon or somewhere on the equator. Last night, I was just telling somebody today, it's funny. So I've been getting into this Dutch oven cooking, and I had some bacon grease in a Dutch oven, and I got it sitting outside on my table, and it was 105 or something like that. And I'm getting the coals ready and stuff. I take the lid off that Dutch oven, and you can see where the bacon grease had started sliding a little bit. I'm like, okay,
he's
might
preheated.
be a little warm for this.
Takes some dedication for some Dutch oven cooking right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess hot is hot. So yeah, we wanted we talked beforehand, kind of got an introduction to a lot of different things. And one of the things we touched on towards the end was the Facebook page Cowboys Can Cook that you and Boone started. How long ago has that been?
Oh God, like October, maybe September, something like almost a year, not
almost
quite
a year, but yeah, a few months away. So we touched on that at the end. We told some good stories, and I wanted to follow up. And you had a big event coming up. You're headed to Miles City last time we talked, and you're going to have some stuff going on then. So really just wanted to catch up on what's going on with that, what you guys did there, and some of the things you've been working through. So if you wanted to kind of give a little, and you guys have like a big cookout or something at Miles City at the Buck and Horse sale?
Yeah, we did. So it was funny. And with my rodeo stuff, I've got a few sponsorship deals. One, and I guess I'm going to mention them all right now. So here's my
Let her rip, tater chip. So,
Equus Horse Feeds one. You're very familiar with that one.
Absolutely.
We both are. Old West Federal Credit Union. It's where I do my banking. Love it. And Renee and the crew in Pendleton.
The best.
And then PNW Beef out of Ellensburg, Washington, with Kyler Beard. So Kyler, we were talking about the sponsorship stuff and about Miles City coming up. And Kyler used to, he was a PRCA pickup man for his grandpa. And anyway, so Kyler, he said, I want to send some beef with you to Miles City and you can do some cooking. So I call my friend Billy Hoverson in Miles City, and he's got a pellet grill, so he brought it, and we just had the generator, plugged the pellet grill right into the trailer, and that was our deal. So, but anyway, Kyler, a couple of weeks before, he says, well, when are you going to get up this way? And I said, boy, I don't know. He says, well, I can come down. He said, maybe I can meet you in the Tri-Cities one day or one evening or something like that. And Kyler runs his own cattle, and he runs cattle for other people, and he's, they've got the feedlot and the PNWB. I mean, the guy he burns a candle at both ends. And so anyway, it come right down. I mean, I guess what you'd call the 11th hour. He said, Joe, he said, I'm sorry. He said, I can't get it to you. And I said, well, we were going to do a cookout, at our little pickup man camp deal. But I said, no big deal. We'll figure it out. He says, no. He said, I can't get to Pendleton or the Tri-Cities or Walla Walla to meet you, but I can get the meat to Miles City. And I go,
what?
How does that work? So anyway, Rebecca, she's part of the PNW beef deal, and buy some feed from Kyler and a neighbor there, whatever, in Ellensburg. She was going to North Dakota to get a
Which,
horse or something from some couple, Don and Trent Martin, whom I
Yeah.
went to college with. I mean, you
naturally,
talk
yeah.
about a small world. And anyway, so Boone and I left here, whatever it was. I think it was Wednesday. Well, it was Wednesday afternoon. We pulled into Miles City at 6 a.m. and met Rebecca outside the hotel at 3 or 4 o'clock that afternoon or something. So
Cut the handoff.
we couldn't get together 2 hours, but you know, we got together 14 hours away.
Drive a couple states away and everything comes together. Yeah, and that's how my family is. The further we live apart, the more often we see each other. I think a lot of friends too.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a twisted way we live. Yeah. So
But it was good. So I'm there, and there was some people that were kind of making fun of me for, you know, and I'm a Montana native, so they were making fun of me for bringing Montana beef or Washington beef to Montana. I mean,
yeah.
especially, you know, Miles City, the whatever it is, cow capital of the world or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, my good friend and roommate from college, Benny Paulson, was there. They were doing some TV stuff with Wild Rides and the Cowboy Channel, and we had a whole group of us. I had 19 or 20 New York strips that we cooked. Anyway, and Benny ranches in Richardson, North Dakota, and we had the Wallowa River sand. We put that on some and some salt and pepper on the other, and anyway, Benny was about half done eating his steak, and he says, "You know what?" He said, "This could be the best steak I've ever ate."
Wow.
So there you go. So it was good. It was good. It was really good. And then Kyler sent some hamburger along too. So burger patties. So we cooked hamburgers there for a couple of days, and yeah, it was good. Really good.
They overlooked that import beef after they got a taste of it, huh?
Yeah, for sure. You know, and then the thing with PNW beef is, and I don't know all of their ration, but I know that it's a lot of spent brewer's grain,
Okay.
You know, brewer's grains and stuff that they use. And then as well as they feed some bakery waste. So, and the way where I grew up in Northeast Montana, you know, we were just 40 or 50 miles off the Canadian border. And back in those days, there wasn't a lot of corn around, you know, so you fed your cattle barley. And in Canada, up until maybe
absolutely.
10 or 12 years ago, was 99% finished on barley. And I really prefer a beef finished on barley, the flavor of it, but you know, it's probably just the way that I was raised. And to me, this PNW beef has that kind of that unique barley flavor.
So it's a deeper flavor, I think. And it makes sense coming off that brewer's.
Sure.
Absolutely. So
I'm mouth watering.
I know.
I can't.
I just had awesome tri-tip and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, oh, I got to get over there and try that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to take a little snack break here, but anyway.
Yeah, and we're back. Yeah, it's been 2 days and we're both full. And so yeah, you guys look different. Yeah, I got the meat founder. So it's glorious. Yeah. So speaking of Wallowa River Sand, you guys did a little promotion with those guys too recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. So Jimmy and we kind of got together, and he's right here in Athena, and you know, and he developed this Wallowa River Sand, and it's I'm not a seasony, saucy, marinade guy, but I like it. And you know, and Jimmy, we talked about, I mean, I love it on, I've used it on brisket, I've used it on pulled pork, I've used it on chicken, I've used it on fish, roasted vegetables. I put it in my guacamole. I use it. Boone uses it on absolutely everything. And I swear, if I'm not watching, he'd put it on his Frosted Flakes in the morning, you know.
A little extra kick.
But it's it's not super salty. It's not super sweet. It's kind of smoky. I don't know. It's unique. And, I mean, it's really good. And so we did a promotion. We ran for a week on, we run on the Cowboys Can Cook deal, and Jimmy put it all together. And I think it was promotion code Pickup Man.
Mhm.
And, and that's what we did. And he's been busy. So he's working on his kitchen and his YouTube studio thing. So we haven't got the hard numbers, but when I did talk to him about it, he said it was an absolute success. And he said, how did he word that? Anyway, the Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming, he said it was just like this, before, and then it like so. So, and then I took some. He gave us a case of the smaller bottles, and we took that with to Miles City and gave some to people. And so, yeah, it went over good. Mom's Mother's Day present,
Outstanding.
So.
The gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, they were all out of vacuum cleaners, so I got you some
free seasoning.
Yeah, exactly. If I wasn't so tight-fisted on some things, I would have bought some too. But the shipping to the Florida was killer.
Yeah.
But when I'm home next time, I'll pick some up
here enough. You can throw some in the. I don't know. I suppose the bottle, depending on how you'd pack, the bottle would survive okay, but you could get that, that little burlap
There's a refill bag, right?
That would transport pretty easy.
Because I got a couple bottles that look similar to the one that comes in. I could probably recreate the effect.
Yeah, I imagine you empty a bottle or two of those a week, maybe. I don't know.
It depends on who's over and what's that Pendleton stuff? Step this way. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's funny.
To give that a whirl. So it was, I almost pulled the trigger anyways, but I thought I'll be home and within the next 6 months, I'll pick some up.
Oh, sure.
And probably take an extra bag with me on the way back just to load everything up I want to get. And we'll be good to go. So
sure.
We were talking to right before our last episode when we were talking, we were right around 1,900 people on Cowboys Can Cook on Facebook. How many people are on there now?
We're right around 2,200 when I looked last. So it's, it's grown and it's really funny. I've met people that, I volunteered a couple weeks ago at the Rascal Rodeo in Hermiston.
Yes.
Special needs deal. I mean, it was just, I had an absolute blast. And they've had those going on before, but when you're picking up and stuff, I mean, you're sorting bucking horses or something right at the time that's going on. So this was on a Saturday and I decided to go in and it was just an absolute blast. But anyway, I get there and this, one of the volunteers there, just, hey, Joe, how are you? I said, oh, I'm good. How are you? And I've met so many people that, I'm like, hey, you, how are you?
Hey, buddy, you pal, you old buddy, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, she starts talking about Cowboys Can Cook. So it's just funny. And it's just so funny. There's another lady in Pendleton here that is on the cooking page, and I got up Saturday morning and I don't know, I think I mentioned this last time, but I quit chewing in January.
Yes.
And he wouldn't like me saying it, but I think I'm turning into my dad a little bit. That, 5 a.m, I'm like,
Ta-da!
Except Dad be up drinking coffee, not me. I try to go back to sleep, but I can't. So anyway, I wake up Saturday morning and here's a Facebook message, and it's from a lady from the cooking page. Hey, don't know if you're interested, but here's some cast iron at a garage sale in Pendleton. So I look at it and this is absolutely not a need, it's a want, but I wanted another 12-inch Dutch oven. And then they had a a chicken cooker with the handle and the lid.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other pans and everything else. So I see this, I messaged the guy, because it was 2 garage sales advertised together. And I said, which address has the cast iron? And it was 2013 and 2009. He said, well, 2009. So I'm like, all right. So I head out, and it's big, bold letters, no early birds, it just whatever. So anyway, I'm just meandering and find my way there. And I just turn off on the street that it's on, and I look down at the pickup, and it's 7:31. I'm like, man, talk about perfect timing. Find a place to park, walk up. I'm looking around. I don't see any cast iron any place. There's tables. And finally I asked the lady behind the cash. I said, where's the cast iron? Oh, she said, it's right over here. There's 3 pieces left out of like 20. And it's 7:32 or 7:33 in the morning. So I asked the guy, I go, really? Yeah, he said it went first thing this morning. I said, it said no early people. I got here at 7:32 or 31 and what, I mean, yeah. So I went down the street to the other one, and she had and I didn't, and again, this is not a need, but I've got a Griswold skillet, a thin pancake griddle. And this is I can't remember, it's marked, but anyway, I grabbed that one for $5. And then it's a BSR, what is it? They're older, it was made in Alabama anyway. You can tell because the bottom of the handle has got the point. Anyway, I bought one of them for $5, and I'll trade that thing, or I don't know. So yeah, Boone, I think we've got 15 or 20 pieces in the garage that aren't, well, like that big griddle, that Griswold, I text you a picture of that day.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to redo that. So, but not when it's 105 outside.
Just set it outside with some grease on it.
Yeah,
It might take 2 days, but it'll be done.
I could do that.
The new summer seasoning special. Just drop it off at Joe's house.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, no, it's I don't know, it's just so much fun. And the cooking deal at Miles City we did, and I got me, I don't know, and I think you and I joked about it, but after my my Memorial weekend in Montana, there's no flavor like charcoal.
No.
And I know that the gas grill and the pellet grill, these were all invented because people got tired of messing with charcoal. But man, I'll tell you what, it can't be beat as far as flavor, in my opinion.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. I had a really nice Weber for a long time. That was like my first, like my housewarming gift to myself was like like the $1,200 Weber screen special edition. Loved it. Then I got a little crappy box smoker. Then I got my nice Gorilla smoker. And every time I just keep evolving back to fire and charcoal and I dug up that. I think I sent a picture of that tire rim I got from my buddy that weighs like 200 pounds and got it rolled in my backyard, and couldn't wait to get cooking on it. And so I had set it up this afternoon, and I was trying to season the grates, and finally I was like, I can't wait. So I put my grilled grates right on top of it and with tri-tip. It'll season later. So charcoal, open fire, tri-tip. Seared it up, and I was working in the backyard, so I'd adjust it up a little bit and go fiddle around for a while and come back, and it's just wafting throughout the neighborhood. I'm sure everybody's just cussing me, and so it's easier just to go turn on the Weber or the pellet grill, and it does okay. I mean, it's nice. I've made some great briskets out of it. I made some great steaks, but there's just nothing that compares to that, and not impossible. So.
No, and I found I was looking at these different portable ones for when we're rodeoing and stuff like that, and so in fact I actually bought one and I took it back. It said portable, and it was like one of these little tabletop ones, and you know, I put it together. There could have been 2 more pages of instructions, and
You mean
and it still
the
wouldn't have
long
been enough,
distance
you know.
fuzzy kind of just diagram didn't work for you?
Yeah, so I bought it. Well, I mean, it was portable because you could pick it up and carry it. The legs didn't fold in, the lid didn't latch shut, and
The loose
so anyways,
definition.
I took it back, and then thankfully they took it back, and I kind of made a joke. I said, I put it together for you. That's on me, you know. So yeah,
Enjoy.
but
And there's your floor model.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, then and it was at Walmart in Pendleton, and I was looking to see what they had, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, you know, just a regular one of the kettle, you know, you could lay that down in the back of the pickup, and you know, maybe, but the legs are like I don't know.
Oh,
But
they're
anyway, I
awesome.
find it's a Americana grill. They're made in Tennessee, and it is, I mean, it is a portable kettle. It's, I think, I don't, if I read right, it's 24 inches or something square. The lid latches down, the legs fold down, it lays flat, and then you pop it up. It's got wheels. I mean, it's
That's portable.
absolutely perfect. And I've been using it here. I mean, I've got it set up, and then I found this lump charcoal that, so when we were doing some Dutch oven cooking on Memorial Day at Heidi's parents, Barb bought some of this cowboy lump charcoal,
Oh, yes.
and yeah, and we were having a hell of a time. We couldn't get it lit, you know, we was having a heck of a time with it, but we was doing some stuff in the Dutch ovens, and you know, it's pretty easy to count briquettes and put it out where that, you know, that lump stuff, you might have
It's
a
all
lump like
different
this.
size and
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'll tell you what, for grilling, I did a pork steak the other day, and had that thing, and you know, the old rule is it's hot enough if you can hold your hand 5 inches above it for I mean, you couldn't keep it on there for 2 seconds, and just, oh, I love it.
yeah, I found the B&B lump turkle. I got a bag of that,
Okay.
and it lit well. It held fire really well. I had some regular briquettes that I use like for my first fire on my grill. I used that, and I,
Yeah.
you know, had the chimney, which is really those are so handy to use if you don't use the chimney to stack your
Right.
briquettes, and you're just wasting time. And so I used that for my kind of my fire for my grill, and then that burned down, and I put some of that lump charcoal on top to cook my tri-tip with, and that stuff was amazing. I was
Yeah.
truly impressed how long it held up, the flavor, and it just I just laid it right on top of those old briquettes, and away we went. So
Yeah.
highly recommend it. I haven't tried the Cowboy yet, but B&B got some pretty good reviews, and it was a pretty good price. So
Yeah.
away
Well,
we
and that's
went.
what this is. I don't know what this stuff is. We got it. In typical me, you know, I mean, I could have bought the small bag just to try it to see if I like it, but no, I mean, look at how cheap that 30-pound bag is. So let's get that
Absolutely.
one, you know, and
It'd be wasting money not to buy it.
right,
That's
right. So, but that cowboy lump charcoal. So if anybody goes to the to PNW Beef, their Facebook page, or they've got an Instagram also. Kyler took one of our metal SmartLick tubs
oh, awesome.
and cut a notch out of it, and he rigged up a deal, and he cooked some tomahawks, right? Had them tomahawks hanging down, you know, from the
Oh,
rod,
right into
and
there.
yeah, cooked them right in that SmartLick tub, and I don't remember what they're doing, branding or something like that, or but yeah, it's pretty neat. And then I think it was on there, it might have been something I watched, but I seen somebody that they lay steaks right on them,
Right
right
in
on the
the
coals.
yeah. I've seen like cooking guys like Alton Brown and those guys that cooked it like that before, and I was like, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it blows right off. So I was
Well,
like,
I guess it does. So yeah.
what the heck? I like that hanging the I've seen people hang the tomahawks too. I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, he drilled a hole, just drills
Yeah,
holes in the end
yeah.
of the bone, hangs them with a wire.
I'm gonna do that. That camping kit I got has 2 extra rods. So it's got 2 grates that slide down over like a 1-inch rod. So you can move them up and down. And then it's got 2 extra ones. You can put like a Dutch oven on it or a coffee pot or something.
Oh, good.
So you can just take one of those rods and hang it out over the fire and have your tomahawks. You could put 10 tomahawks on that. And like if you were just
Oh,
having some sort of chaos. And so
well, you could put 10 tomahawks on there, but you couldn't afford 10 tomahawks. So that might be, you know.
I'd have to be doing some kind of catering event. I don't have 10 good enough friends. I'd cook 10 tomahawks for.
I was gonna say, yeah, what you'd spend on 10 tomahawks, that's what we used to spend on whole live cows, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that'd be like 4 plane tickets. But anyway, or
Yeah.
you could do ribs that way as well. Would be fun. So
Yeah.
I've been.
So I can't remember, did we talk? I don't know if we talked about it last time or not, and the place is closed now. But Nate Morrison in South Dakota is a real foodie. And, you know, I love food, I love to eat, but I'm pretty plain. I'm kind of a, give me some protein and not a lot of starch and whatever. But anyway, Nate goes, I mean, he'll go have these 7-course meals and he produces rodeos. In fact, he's the guy that puts on the Benny Binion Buccaneer sale at the national finals.
Gotcha.
So, but he's
Recognize the
me,
name, yeah.
Yeah. So several years ago, we were going down to Las Vegas and for the finals, and he says, you need to go to a place called Carnivino in the Palazzo, and it's not on the menu, but you need to order the Reserva. And he said, don't ask what it costs. He said, just order it. I said, okay. So we go down there, walk into this place. It's in the afternoon, and there's a couple other guys in there. Otherwise, this place is empty. And like I said, it's closed now.
Damn.
But they bring out a menu, and it's a girl. The gal waiting tables there, and I made the comment to the manager because she said, I want you to know that our beef comes from such and such ranch in the Sand Hills of Nebraska. They're Red Angus, Hereford Cross, and they're blah. And I mean, yep. And I'm sure she memorized it or whatever, but I'm telling you.
But she had it down.
That did more for the beef industry than a lot of checkoff programs and whatever, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so we go through this deal, and on the menu, they had things like Wagyu cheek, that was an appetizer or something. And, and for fishermen, walleye cheek is a delicacy.
And like pork, if you're cooking a hog, that's the best part.
Right. So, and then I'll back up and come back, but my dad tells about his uncle Bill that was a butcher from Oklahoma. He would come up and visit when Dad was a kid, and they would butcher a beef, and they cooked the beef head in a pit.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother had this humongous platter, and Dad said that'd just be mounted up, and he said it was the best tasting meat you ever had. But you think about it, the best meat's against the bone, right? So
true,
makes sense. But so anyway, I get off on a deal. But so I said, tell me about the Reserva. She said it is a 9-month aged ribeye.
Oh, Falcon.
Rib steak, not ribeye. I said, okay. I said, I will have it. She says, how thick do you want it? And I said, well, they're not pre-cut. She said, no, we cut them to order. She said, and we charge by the inch, not the ounce. I'm like, okay, what do people normally do? She said an inch. I said, okay, an inch then. And I've got in the back of my mind, it's not on the menu. Nate's telling me, don't ask what it costs,
Like, this is gonna scuff right when I get to town.
So they bring it, and it's funny what we remember, because it was the place where, they don't, if you want a vegetable, you got to order the vegetable.
Oh, a la carte or whatever.
Yeah, a la carte. There you go. So I order some, baby carrots or whatever,
you're counting your money in the back of your mind, like,
whatever.
okay, I got $12 for carrots. It's gonna be exactly. For that steak.
Right.
Okay.
So, anyway, she brings this thing out. and it's on the rib bone like a tomahawk, and she brings this thing out, and she says, "Would you like fresh ground pepper on it?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I cut into it, and I'm just like, I mean, I can't even talk. I'm not kidding you. I cannot even talk. And I mean, I'm literally, I mean, I could cry. And all I can say is, everybody that's watching this, think about the best steak that you have ever had in your life and double it.
Oh,
So, I mean, I did. I mean, I am eating this thing, and I'm, usually, and you and I've ate before together, and, I don't mess around. Let's get her done. There's stuff to do,
exactly.
big bites and chew it 3 times. But man, this thing, it was absolutely amazing. They took me back and showed me, I got to meet the chef, and then they showed me the room.
Oh,
And I was just going through a jump drive thing the other day that I found in a box, and here's a picture of that loin. And I mean, it's aged 9 months.
that's insane.
And this, I've got a messy desk, but I mean,
Yeah.
it was like these yellows and green. I mean,
all
it was
sorts of stuff going on the
all
outside.
kinds, and it stunk. I mean, it had that smell. But I'm telling you, they cut all of that off, and it was absolutely amazing. And I was telling Dad about it, and he said when they used to go to the Denver Stock Show when he was a kid, old Dad, we called my grandpa.
Mhm.
He said old Dad would walk into that cooler, and they had the rib loins hanging there, the primals, and he could pick which one he wanted. He said they would cut it, and they would cut the ring of mold, that little rind of mold off of it. But I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. $161 for that steak. Now, this would have been probably in 2008, where, $100 steak's pretty common now, and a $50 steak dang sure is.
Absolutely.
But that thing today would probably be a $300 steak. But
Easy.
I can honestly say this: Gallagher's in New York, and is it Gallagher's? I think.
There's always something different. It seems like to me. There's been the range, and there's been all sorts of things.
Okay, well, the
Yeah.
one that has the steaks where you can see them in the glass there.
Mhm.
A couple days later, I went and ordered a steak there, and I know it was a good steak.
But
I'm like, what is this, bar S bologna, or what am I? So I mean, it almost ruined me.
it does.
And it's funny, my dad and I picked on that poor guy, but I tell him I paid $161 for the steak.
He just wonders where he went wrong with you.
Yeah, just beside himself. He says, "God, easy come, easy go." Blah. I said, "Look, and I don't drink anymore." I said, if I was still drinking, that would have ran down the urinal the first night I was here
in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just leasing it.
Right. It's like when we were at the rodeo in Union, we went to that steakhouse over in Cove, really good steakhouse. I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty new, and it was amazing. And we're all there and eating, and I tell the waitress, if they don't have brewed iced tea, I drink water. And so I told her, I said, you're going to be happier and I'm going to be happier if you just bring me a pitcher of water. So, and it's a whole, Flying 5 Big Bend Rodeo Company there, and they're ordering beers and drinks, and I'm just drinking my water. Well, pretty soon the pitcher's empty, and them guys looking at me like I'm some kind of freak,
Like, wait a minute.
I said, you just had 7 beers. I've had 6 glasses of water, and I'm some kind of weirdo.
Isn't that so weird? Yeah, like.
So I don't know. It was fun. We had a pretty good laugh over it.
The perception that always cracks me up. It's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm just drinking some water. Like, I'm hydrated. You're drinking the same thing. What's wrong with you? Maniacs.
Oh, it's funny.
We went to the one of the funnest places I've been to have steak was in Vegas. And I think Patsy told me about it or Jimmy Ward. I can't remember which. And I apologize to both those guys for not remembering who it was. I think it was called the Golden Steer.
Okay.
And it was like it's in downtown crap part. It's like it's about 3 or 4 blocks from that pawn shop that's always on TV, Pawn Stars.
Gotcha.
So it's in the old part, and
Yeah.
it's like in a strip mall. And you walk in, and it's like dark, like it's
I'll
old
be
school, like freaking Italiano stuff. But amazing steaks, best steak I've had in Vegas yet. We used to go to the Range, and we'd go to Roots and all these
Yeah.
places when we go down for NFR. And we went to this, I think it's the Golden Steer calf anyways, but you'd never stop if you're just driving by. You're like, check that freaking place out. And we rolled in and it was like
Yeah.
the best, carpet
I'll
on the
be
walls. And, the waiter has like a flashlight for the
Yeah.
menu and writing shit down because it's just so dark. And I'm like, man, there's probably been 19 people whacked in here, but it was amazing food and
Yeah.
tremendous. Best steaks we had that
I'll
whole
be
time we were
darned.
there. So I need to see if they're still open. But
That would be good. My go-to in Vegas, at least one night, depending on how long I'm there, is the steakhouse at Circus.
oh, the heck, I've never been to that one.
Same kind of deal. I mean, you walk into that place and there's 2 walls just covered with awards. But you know how Circus is.
Yeah, you like,
You're
I don't
looking
think
at these.
I don't think
you're like,
top
"My
quality
God,
when
you're
I think
not
Circus.
touching it. You're walking through like this, and you'll need a tetanus shot when you're done, and just walking through there. But you get down here to the steakhouse, and that's what it's called, the steakhouse, and it's the old wood. It reminds me of the Montana bar, Miles City, Montana, the emerald green lights, and it's
Yeah,
kind of
okay.
dark, like you say. And in the center, they've got there's 2 or 3 big open grills, so it's all glass. This like a glass pen. These cooks
Oh, like
are
an
in.
aquarium then or something.
Yeah, and you can, people are watching, and they're just in this hot box, and big hood over the whole thing, and they cook on applewood or whatever. And so
Oh, wow.
kind of
I've
like
been there
Ernie's in Lewiston, how that's kind of open, only it's 3 times out and you can get all the way around it.
Yeah, that's a great place too. I've been there in a while.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
we went to one in Wisconsin too, where you cooked your own steak. Now that was a
I
kick
heard
in the
about
ass.
one of those.
Huge. It's like it must have been at least 8 or 10 feet wide and probably 20 foot long. And you go to you just pay, it's like a flat rate for steak. And then you go to the cabinet and they got them all stacked up and you're like, I'll take that one. And you just roll over to the grill and you can make yourself they got a big pans of butter. So you can make some Texas toast while you're standing there or drinking a beer and shooting the breeze. And if you don't want to cook it, it's like $8 more. So the chefs will come out every once in a while from the back and they'll cook a steak for somebody. But I took my whole team of salesmen there once. So we're just all standing around, like drinking beer, eating Texas toast and cooking our steaks. And loaded up at the potato bar and wandered back to the table. It was like amazing. But they had 2 of those huge grills in there. And I don't remember what they said, but they go through like 10,000 tons of charcoal every year or something ridiculous. It's just insanity. But like, what a concept! Like, grill your own steak. Yeah, what the hell? Come on down. So it's just massive.
And then, there's some people, I'll be damned if I'm going to go out and cook my own steak. But so here's what this reminds me of, Micah. When I was in high school, I was a junior in high school, and in marketing class, Mr. Melby's class, and he come back from his summer vacation, and they were out in this country somewhere. I want to say Seattle, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But he says, we're talking about the stock market and investing and blah, 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 whatever. And he says, we went to a brand new chain out, and I'm sure he said Seattle, maybe it wasn't. He said, you go in and they've got all the fixings there. You order a sandwich and you tell them what kind of meat and vegetables and cheese. And we're all like,
what?
Who wants to go eat a cold sandwich? He said, I bought, and I can't remember how many shares he said. It was Subway.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Before anybody, we didn't know what the hell Subway was.
It just seems so random, huh?
Yeah. So what did we have in Glendive, Montana? We had Dairy Queen, We did have a McDonald's at that time. They don't anymore. And then a Hardee's, which Carl's Jr. out here, but a Hardee's. And Taco John's.
Oh, there you go.
They're, I don't know, I don't know if it's authentic or it's not authentic at all, but it's good. I mean,
yeah. Well, the Mexi fries or whatever, they're tasty.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. We had, where I grew up, we had the Pizza Villa, we had the Burger Queen.
Oh yeah.
And we had the Polar Bear, and then the Snack Shack. That was like, there was no change. I think there's finally a Subway in Lakeview, I think now.
Yeah, I think there is too.
But it's all still local, everything else. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. But yeah, so like it was like totally foreign when you go out of town, like a wrestling trip or football or whatever, like McDonald's, like, because you see it on the TV or you just hear about it. You're like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
I can remember so we grew up in Nashua, Montana, Northeast Montana, and there was an A&W in Glasgow. You know, so I can remember the old drive-in thing, and I can remember going to the drive-in movies and stuff. But
oh yeah, we did that.
You know, getting that root beer and but you know, now I don't know, it doesn't take much of a place for there to be a McDonald's. But my grandma, Dad's mom, so when she would come visit, and this is what
you didn't call her old mom, did you?
Huh?
You didn't call her old mom like you called her dad. Okay.
No, we called her grandmother.
Just checking.
Anyway, grandmother would come visit, and she would, and I'm sure they were like a nickel then or something, but she would go to either Hardee's or McDonald's, and she would just bring sacks of the little burgers, the little cheeseburgers, and
like the 49 or 50 cent.
Yeah, whatever, you know, they were. And like I say, then they might have been like 25 cents. I don't know, in the early 80s or mid 80s.
Absolutely.
And she'd freeze them and then bring. So, I mean, so this is a childhood that we had. I mean, it was amazing. My sister and I, you know, and then I think we got a microwave in 1984 or something like that, or whatever year that was. And you could warm them burgers. So that was our treat.
This is how the living's supposed to be right here.
We got what are the poor folks doing right now?
Exactly.
You know?
Living large.
Funny. And then chains. So Kentucky Fried Chicken, man, that whenever we went to Sydney, that was a treat. You know, go get
back when it was still Kentucky Fried Chicken and not KFC.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was the good time special too, when because Klamath Falls is about an hour and a half away, and they had a few of those. So some, you know, we'd go shopping in Klamath Falls every 3 months, or the big back to school shopping if you didn't go through the catalog. And so yeah, you get KFC, or like Wendy's was our go-to spot, and that was big times. So it's just funny, you know, you don't even think about it, what you didn't have, and then like the little things, like we got leftover McDonald's hamburgers in our microwave, like it's so good.
I know.
And then here now we're going back to like just cooking like our grandparents did. So.
You know, it's true. And another thing I can remember is Thursday. It was on Thursdays. Mom would go get groceries, and Dad was a brand inspector, so it was sale day in Glasgow. So, you know, Dad was always gone. I've maybe seen my dad eat 3 pieces of pizza in my life. You know, just, I don't think I've ever seen him eat a bite of chicken or turkey. You know, it's just the way he is. But that was one of our treats, was we could get a Tony's pizza.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the pepperonis curl up, and they hold dish. That half a teaspoon of molten hot grease.
Goodness. Yes.
So you take a bite and it burns down your face.
The top of that rib, you do the weird breath thing, but you're still like, oh, it's so good. It's crispy. That lava cheese runs down your arm right here too. It's like just like scalds your arm, but we're having good times.
Oh yeah, good times.
Like you said, I wonder what the poor folks are doing right now.
Yeah,
they don't know what they're missing.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I've had a blast digging out. It's like my dad was throwing old cast iron at me last time I went up to see him around Memorial Day. I'm like, take it easy. I gotta get back home. You know, my truck only holds so much crap.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's been a blast to get that reseason back up. And I cook pretty much everything now. I've gone back to cooking in that. And then since I've got my outside setup coming together,
Right.
it's gonna be pretty fun. So
Well, and that's what I've got. So I've got a couple of those pans that spinners, I guess the cast iron connoisseurs call them, where they
mhm,
get a little warped from heat, and
yes.
you can spin them. One thing you can do when you're wheeling and dealing on it, you can buy them for nothing. But that's what I got in my camping box. So when, Memorial Day, when we was on that trip, throw one of them on the fire. They're, and them older pans are just smooth as glass.
Oh, kids, yes.
But it just wobbles. I mean, I could lay one on the glass top stove here and spin it, walk down to the grocery store and
Go
come
back
back,
to-
and it's still going to be spinning.
Set the timer.
So,
There's a 30-minute spin right
yeah,
here.
exactly. So, but you put it on an uneven grade or something, cook. I mean, it's perfect.
All is well. Yeah, it's tremendous. So yeah. So you thinking about circling back to Cowboys Can Cook officially? We've had like best steak stories, which has been good.
Yeah.
Gonna go live anytime, or have you already, or what's the thoughts on that?
So we haven't yet. There's a couple of things that when we can make it work, we're gonna do a Facebook Live deal with PNW Beef,
Oh, outstanding.
and and we haven't done it. We just haven't done it yet. I've been, with some of the stuff I've been doing, I've been videoing and yeah, we need to. I mean, we definitely need to. And and Boone, so this is funny. So I'm a low carb guy for,
Yes.
I've been a lot better since, in May, right up, well, about to the Buccaneer sale. I could just kind of take it or leave it, or if I wanted a milkshake, I'd go have a milkshake. And I got cinching a little bigger than I have for a while. And so I started getting a little more, being a little more rigid with it and stuff like that. But I found two Duncan Hines, and then I can't remember the other one, but I found two low carb keto cake mixes at Walmart here in town, and are in Pendleton, and they so we've been trying for 2 weeks, and we just haven't got around to it because we've run out of time. But we're going to do 2 nights. Well, it won't be tonight because this will air later, but the night of this interview, we're going to do a pineapple upside down cake.
Oh,
And I've watched tons of videos. I these cookbooks, and I mean, I've just been absolute. This is why I can't drink anymore, because
you done picked up this habit.
yeah, I'm just all in, Joe, you should try some Dutch oven cooking. And then I'm in it up to my, I mean, I've got, what do I got? 4 or 5 Dutch ovens, and Lodge had a little special going on. So I got a 12-inch deep one that's coming. So, and I've got 3 12s. How many do you need? But
at least 3, maybe 4.
yeah. So, but one of them I'm gonna give to Heidi, and I only bought it. It was actually at a thrift store in Montana, Big Timber, Montana, when I was coming back. And I wanted a cooking table, and it was this Dutch oven and table. So I got them together, and I don't need that 12-inch, I don't need another one. So anyway,
Cooking
but I
table's
have
handy
to,
though. Yeah.
so I got to share this. So my nephew, Darby, in Glendive, Montana. So he's got a used, well, it's a used store. It's not a secondhand store, but he sells used video games and
Oh,
gotcha. Game systems and records and whatever. So in my travels, I'll I'll pick up some games and whatever for him. And it's, I mean, he does well. The kid does, and it's not something I think about because I don't know anything about that stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, there was one of the games that, you know, I bought it at a thrift store for him for $1.99, and he sold it for like $80 or whatever that number is. It's ridiculous. So my dad was at his store the other day. Becky, my sister, was telling me this, and he says he's looking around and there's just all these video games and then, you know, that's just what's out in the store, and you know, the storeroom full or whatever. I haven't even been there yet, but anyway, he said, how many of those things do you really think you need to? And Darby looked right at him. Becky said he never missed a beat, looked right at him and said, how many pieces of cast iron does Uncle Joe need? So
that's the reference equivalent.
Yeah, so she said Dad never said anything. He was just speechless.
It's like, where did I go so wrong? Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I guess that's a thing. I don't know. I don't get it, but you know, the old saying, whatever floats your boat.
Everybody's got something. One man's trash, another treasure. I guess there's reasons those are all still around. And I've been exploring some more online too about other cast iron cooking groups and this and that and barbecue groups. Mm-hmm. And one thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned too is I just really love the overall tone that has been fostered on Cowboys Can Cook, because I see some other Facebook groups and people like, they start picking at people and they're petty, and it's just, I'm like, what are you doing that for? You're killing the whole, like, that person's like, a lot of times they'll make something for their first time. Like, what do you guys think? And they'll just get shredded.
Oh,
and I'm like, I know. Who are you guys? You know, just shut it.
I know. And you mentioned that. So on one of these cast iron deals the other day, I looked. Now, am I an expert in cast iron? Absolutely not. I don't.
No, I'm still.
I know I can tell an old 3-notch lodge that isn't marked. I mean, but that, you know, that's about the end of my expertise. I can tell if a pan's crooked or a griddle's crooked. That's about it. And then also, so you and I talked about, I actually learned this from you. I've been seasoning them on the pellet grill. Oh. That way your house ain't stinking and stuff. I mean, it's absolutely all outside, whatever. And those really cruddy ones, I've done the self-clean oven.
Mm-hmm. You know,
some people do the easy off oven cleaner in a plastic sack, and I don't, you know, I don't know what, you know, or I don't ever buy anything organic unless it's cheaper. So exactly. yesterday I need dill weed because I want to make that cucumber salad. I had no idea that dill was so expensive. Dill weed dried.
It's very,
so the like organic was cheaper, so I bought that. Otherwise, I don't buy anything organic, you know. So, but anyway, I've cleaned cast iron in the self-cleaning oven, and because I don't like all the chemicals and stuff like that. And one of those cast iron pages the other day, somebody had a gritty pan that they picked up somewhere, and one of the guys wrote self-clean oven, and I mean, that goes against this group's community standards, and you bleepity bleep, you know. And then this guy shows a picture of I'm guessing like a 20+ inch double handled frying pan that just bowed up like this, but that, you know, from 900 degrees or something like that. And so, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you, and we talked about this a little bit before, but with Cowboys Can Cook, I mean, there's nothing political on it. Mm-hmm. There's, you know, I mean, people will give you some grief, you know, you eat too much meat, or you're eating some salad or whatever, you know. And some guys, you know, Neil Whitmer, my friend in South Dakota, he put some pretty funny jokes on there, one, you know, little meme things, whatever. But there's been a couple of deals where, and we maybe talked about this before, but you know, some stuff got said and the F-bombs got dropped, and And when I saw them, I just deleted them and I messaged the guy. I said, hey, we have too many moms and grandmas on here. Whether I agree with you or not, it's beside the point. This isn't the place. And it's been, I mean, it's been cool.
It's been great. It's been
Yeah.
super great. And that's, yeah, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I really appreciate that everybody's just kind of doing it because they love it and the good feedback. Yeah, I love the little bit of joke here there, especially about your keto bread and
Oh
things,
yeah.
you know, things along those lines. But yeah, it's just been great. And you know, you get to follow, or like some people always seem to follow your cooking. So that's kind of cool to kind of, you build that little bit of a somewhat of a weird online kind of bond. Like so-and-so
Yep.
always likes my food or always says this, and that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's just been fun to throw stuff up every once in a while and just throw it out there and see what everybody else is doing. I think it's been the cool thing too.
Well, I do too, Micah. And then, you know, and there's people that, you know, that, I mean, I know that I love to cook. And before this, people that are really close to me knew that I did, but you know, a lot of people would have no idea.
Mhm.
And, you know, and then there's some people like that. And I this popped into my head here just now, but you know, when I did the Vienna sausage tutorial video.
Yes.
So Tracy Houck was in Miles City, and she's on the board of governors, and her and Heidi are friends. And we were at, she was over at the trailer. She was at our steak feed we had that night. And she was talking about that. And she said, when she watched it, she said she's laughing so hard at it. But then when I got to that part where I slurped the juice, she said she almost vomited. And then she's talking about it and she's going, oh, you know, while she's talking. So I had some Viennas in the trailer, and because when I officiated Mary and Alex's wedding, that was the little gift I got. Everybody else got monogrammed something. You know what I got? A paper bag full of Vienna sauce.
Well, you care enough to send the very mediocre.
Yeah,
thanks.
which is awesome. So I need to do a follow-up one because those were Kroger brand Vienna. Very respectable Vienna sauce.
People want to know this. The crowds want to know.
Yeah. And then that morning that somebody was talking about fish tacos, so I got the the old tin of smoked kipper snacks or whatever it was.
That'll turn a couple people upside down as well.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I haven't had those in a long time, but they have their spot. They do.
They do.
I like that. I like them in the mustard. I think that's my favorite.
And so I got to say this. So we got in 2 weeks here, got the Elgin Stampede. So we're going to do a little cookout. I'm going to take some Dutch ovens over and I'll have my portable grill and stuff. I don't know what we'll do, but so we'll have some stuff on, you know, with that. Marty Campbell, he said so there's one. I didn't know Marty did anything with a Dutch oven, but yeah, he told me he's going to bring one. So
they make a pretty good peach cobbler. We had a couple Dutch oven cooks when I lived out at the experiment station in Union. We would dig up the dirt in the backyard, and there was Marty and Mandy and John Boy and Colby and Shelly. There's probably 6 or 8 of us. We did a couple times out there. We would just Dutch oven cook, and I built a barbecue out of a bunch of old stuff I found out in the barn, and turns out it was from the nuclear Hanford. I was like, well, that'll save on briquettes, Tim. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Built a really nice like barbecue with adjustable legs, and anyways, it was pretty funny. So we barbecue on that, and we Dutch oven cook, and so yeah. And then at the powwow, Muerte was always working something in the Dutch oven. So you'll be in good company at that one for sure.
Well, I think it'll be good. So we, you know, with SmartLick, they still use the steel containers in Belle Fourche, but we don't in Silver Springs, Nevada. So there's some at Hermiston that they're going to get back, and then they're not going to take them back anymore. Dealers can still order them, but they're not going to take them back at the mill. Anyway, when I was there a couple of weeks ago, we was working on some inventory stuff. I went through their pile and found a couple that, you know, had salt and mineral in them that I knew would get rejected. So I grabbed those because because Rodney Black, one of my coworkers in Oklahoma, he used to do, and maybe he still does, but he used to do a lot of Dutch oven competitions. And this one gal was always beating him, and he finally asked her what her secret was. She said, well, your company is helping. And he says, what do you mean? She said, when it's windy and stuff like that, she said, I use your steel containers, and that's what I put the Dutch ovens into.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are super handy.
Yeah. So that's going to be my portable ones for when we're rodeoing and stuff. And then Mike Robinson here at Adams, I got two, I haven't picked them up yet. We just talked about it, but two 24-inch truck rims that will bury partway in the ground when we do our outdoor cooking thing here.
Absolutely.
And those can be little Dutch oven pits or whatever. So
heck yeah. You keep expanding the repertoire.
There you go. And then I'll be on to something else. Who knows? I have no
I was
idea.
just laughing about that. I was like, as we get older, we're circling back, but where's it going to be next?
Right. Yeah.
Restoring old wall phones, I think, or something will be coming.
Yeah, that might be.
I found a 60-foot cord. Ooh, nice move there. Yeah. That's outstanding.
That's funny. But no, other than that, I'm trying to think. What is the date? The Sunday, is it the 11th? I got to look at my calendar real quick. Yeah, the 11th of July. I should be able to get back from Elgin, but we're cooking for the National Guard in Milton Freewater. So any of our cowboys can cook following that's in the Milton Freewater, Walla Walla, Pendleton area, we'll probably be reaching out for some help.
That's outstanding. 11 July, Milton Freewater, National Guard. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll try to get all this captured in the comments down below, so hopefully everybody can track along, and then obviously keep an eye too on Cowboys Can Cook, but hopefully we'll get those updates out.
Sure.
And keep everybody informed and up to date, and we'll definitely have another one of these as well, because it's always good to catch up and see what everything's going on, and a couple good war stories and a place to get a good steak. I mean, how can you go wrong with that conversation too? So
no, that's right. That's what probably the worst thing. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't, maybe, I don't know. There's been people pass away and that kind of stuff, so that's probably the worst thing. But one of the horrible things about this whole pandemic deal is, when we get to doing them feed meetings and stuff like that,
prime rib toxicity is what I used to call it.
Well, exactly.
It's a whole week.
Go to the Hain Steakhouse, and so one time I got to tell you this story. So you remember Dick Sorensen? That was he was up in Plentywood, Montana. Well, when I worked for CHS and was calling on him, Dick was my dealer, and then I ultimately got CHS to hire him. And, and then he retired. He lives in Minot anyway. But his father-in-law was at the Elks, and we used to do our feed meetings at the Elks in Plentywood. And they had the best prime rib. And anyway, his father-in-law was slicing it. And he said, and of course, Kim Hager's there. So Kim goes through first. And
absolutely,
gets his deal. And I'll never go first. So, because my dad always said, he said, the sorriest guy in the outfit's the first one to the truck wagon.
Yeah, so always the last one if I can be.
Yeah. So I'll never go first. In fact, when I cooked for that church deal in the park down here, Boone was the first one in line. I said, don't you ever do that again.
I raised you better.
So anyway, at Plentywood, Dick's father-in-law is cutting up the meat, Cindy's dad, and he says, well, how you been? I said, good. I said, I've been thinking about this all day. I said, I haven't ate since last night. I said, I've been waiting for this.
I've been saving
and
up.
he had his knife that he would lay the knife down.
Oh, okay.
And then that's how he would cut it. That was his gauge. So he lays his knife down and then lays it down beside it. I mean, he cut this pot liquor. Oh my word. And I ate it.
all of it
I
happening.
ate it.
The old 96er was there.
Oh, but I was so miserable. And then I'm giving my presentation.
Oh,
you know,
that's
and
the,
I'm
oh
just-
yeah. I
I've
always
got
try
the
to,
meat sweats while
yeah,
I'm
it's
up
like,
there.
just a little shaking going on, blurred vision. I always try to eat after my presentation, and then that would be we'd have those back-to-back meetings, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch, dinner,
Yes.
about around Thursday or Friday, like, and every, of course, you went somewhere new every time, like, well, what, aren't you hungry? Don't you want some good food? And you're like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm just cross-eyed at the moment. I've had more food the past 3 days than any human should have in a week, but
No, you're right. And another thing I relate that to was when I was at Glendive going to college, I worked for the Undham Ranch, and Chris and I, Sam's son, we'd go to branding every
oh
day of the
yeah,
week.
exactly.
And I mean, I'm telling you, it got to the point where if I even smelled potato salad, I was sick to my stomach, because I mean, you're eating 20 pounds of potato salad a week, and oh,
It hurts so good. Don't
Yeah.
you boys want tater salad? Oh, I'm fine actually.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have some potato salad. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody wants to make you feel comfortable, and inadvertently they're
Oh.
about ready to kill you. So
yeah, that was the worst. That was absolutely the worst. But yeah, we got through it, and it just. So what did you call it? The prime rib? What?
prime rib toxicity is what I
Prime
would
rib.
call it,
Yeah, I
because
like that too.
everywhere
I
had
like
prime rib. They all had good prime rib,
Yeah.
and they are all like, oh, here, they give you the same, the double cut too, and you're like, no, it's okay. I know I'm a big guy, and I know I'm your host, but still, you're gonna kill me off.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what. So the Haines Steakhouse,
hmm
the Elks and Hepner,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I've never had her prime rib, but Melissa down in Klamath Falls, she does the catering for she did Mary's wedding. I can't think of what her and her husband's name is, but but they do great tri-tip. And so that's one thing in this conversation. I just had this conversation with somebody just the other day. I don't even remember who it was, but in our line of work, we might not know every really good place to eat, but we darn sure can point out some places you don't want to
Don't want
stop.
to go. Exactly.
And and that, well, in fact, I had somebody text me the other day, hey, I'm in Billings, Montana. What do you think? So write a few choices down and away you go. But
essential survival tools of the road is that.
Yeah. And it's
No
funny
doubt.
what you remember, but I don't even know if it's open anymore after the oil boom. But pre-oil boom, when I was working for CHS in Watford City, North Dakota, was Ginny's Burger Ranch.
Oh,
And they served Velveeta. They melted Velveeta cheese on their cheeseburger. So you get their mushroom burger with that. Oh, I know when Mary watches this, she'll be caught, because she's a dairy lady and hates Velveeta. But
I know, but there's times when it just makes sense. You
that, and in macaroni and cheese, you can't.
Yes.
There is no better macaroni and cheese
I'm sorry.
in North
Yeah,
America.
it's evil. I know it, but I love it. So
Yeah.
be it. Yeah,
That's right.
It is what it is. Yeah, blasphemy, but it's okay still. So
Yeah.
sorry, Dairy Mary, but
Yeah,
we'll pull
that's
through.
that's right. That's
Makes
right.
us
And
appreciate
then,
the other times.
There's a place in Glendive that actually one of my classmates owns. Her and her husband now they got it from their grandpa, but Frosties.
Oh,
It's one of them. Just a little. It used to be a little drive-in deal, and they're just.
What was that one in? It's not. Is it Arlington? No, it's towards Arlington. Maybe it is Arlington. Like the Pheasant.
Yeah, that's
a good little place to stop and get an ice cream or a.
Yeah,
is that the right?
It was just, we were talking about that, and then I think the guy, is it the red pheasant? I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I ate
It's
breakfast
like
there.
you would just drive by it normally, but yeah, when I was running around that country with Ruxpin, that was a good stop. So yeah, and then there's that crazy huge burger place in the Dalles on the far east end. I can't think of the name of it. It's like, I want to say Howell's maybe, but it's not. But it's like before the creosote factory in the Dalles. there's that weird, if you take like the first exit and there's like the
Okay.
McDonald's is over here and you go left, and then there's that weird intersection that like comes up on you.
Yeah.
You circle back up there. There's like the best burger joint in
I'll
the
be
Dalles
darned.
there for sure. Yeah.
I just know. So they used to have a rodeo there. So Patsy, he says, well, and that goes back, I guess, 2 years ago when Boone was out here. And, would have been about this time of year, maybe August or something like that. And we were traveling through. We stayed in the Dalles. Pat said, "Oh, you got to go eat at Cousins." He said, "That's the best place." They used to, he said they had the rodeo there. I wish we'd have known about the hotel, but we walk in there and, "Howdy, cousin," and Boone's looking around, and then everybody said, "Well, hello, cousin."
I don't want to eat here.
Funny.
If you give them preemptive howdy cousin, it really messes up their day. Like I throw that door, I'm like, howdy cousins, and they just go like, what the hell's this guy doing? Yeah, it's my favorite.
Do that
it's my favorite thing. Just totally shocking. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, good place to eat though.
It is. Yeah, it is. Speaking of, I miss Burgerville too. We don't have a Burgerville around here. So if you're looking for the fast food in the Dalles, that's good stuff, Maynard. But I can't think of the name of that place up the road, but it is mega good. And it's right in that area. So next time you roll through there, take the first exit and take a left. So
I'll be darned. Yeah, I know that Malfunction Junction you're talking about. Yeah. I just can't think of what it's called.
I don't either. It's anyways, little hints. So
yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Anything else about Cowboys Can Cook? What's anything new besides you got some appearances coming up? You'll be doing some stuff. Hopefully get some live running. If we have another promotion, it'd be good.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. And that's what Kyler, we talked about, trying to do something on there with PNW beef. But the thing about that, I mean, when you start talking about shipping to the Midwest and stuff like that, it gets pretty expensive. So yeah, there was some of that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure Jimmy, he'll want to do, he'll probably want to do something with Wallowa River Sand again. And then also he's working on that kitchen and getting that thing done. And
oh, awesome.
We'll be doing some stuff there eventually too. So
that would be great. And I'll ask all the listeners right now too. We've talked about some of our favorite spots or little hidden gems. So I'm sure everybody's got their own as well. So I'll be curious what the feedback is about the must-stop places or hopefully not the places to avoid. Those are handy to know, but I'd rather know where I should go than where I should not. But people tell me where to go all the time. It's not related. It's not really related to food. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned it last time, but we absolutely cannot talk about great steaks without giving Jennifer a plug.
Absolutely.
Semioti's.
So. Friday night's prime rib night. We know that. I think that's one of my favorite posts to always see. She's got some of the highest standards I've ever been around. You're not going to get taken care of any better, I don't think, than when you go to Simi's. And that's like one of my high points when I get to go home is I got to go to Simi's and say hi to Jennifer and the gang and just see what they're up to. And it's just, you're treated like first class. Everybody is from the moment you walk in until you leave.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about it.
It's it's a great place. And just the atmosphere with them red velvet walls.
Oh,
I mean, just
she kept like the great essence, the essence of there. I remember when she just was swinging through town and started opening it back up. We're like, what's this place going to be? So it's been so good to see that thing thriving, not just hanging on, but thriving. And it's because she cares so much about what they do and about her customers. I think that's the great thing too. So we're going to try to get, we want to do one of our regular episodes of Far Reaches. We want to do one from there live during Roundup if we can. I think that would be a kick. So we're going to try to, I need to get coordinating on that actually, because that's going to be here before we know it, which is great. I'm so excited. So
yeah, I think it'll be, it's going to, I don't know. It's already the 4th of July.
Yes.
It's crazy that I don't know.
Only 2 months after that till it's P-Town. So
yeah, exactly. That'll be good. That'll be good. See, I don't get it. I gotta, well, and I'm grateful, I mean, that I get to, but I pick up an Othello. So I help with the timed event cattle at the roundup for slack. And then, they added breakaway roping this year.
Yes.
So, I was talking to Kenny Hassenbeck the other day, Spanky, and he said, so-and-so said they probably get 160 breakaway ropers. I said, no. He said, well, they're adding 45,000. I said, they might get 260 breakaway ropers. So anyway, but I help with that, but then I'll have to leave because I go to Othello but some friends of my parent, well, they're friends of mine too. They're from Glendive. They're coming out for the roundup, and there's been talk. I don't know whether it'll happen or not, but Bill Blankenship might be bringing his team of Belgians out for the parade. So
that would be outstanding.
Yeah, I was talking to Dad about it the other day, and then a friend of his, Larry, a friend of ours too, Larry Fry from North Dakota. He's talking about Pat met him at Sentinel Butte last year, and of course, Pat, boy, you guys need to come out for that. Well, he planted the seed, and Dad, he's telling me the other day, he says, yeah, boy, I just don't, because they're in a pretty bad drought over there, really. And Dad said he just didn't know if he could be gone, and I said, what are you going to do? Sit there and worry about it? Or, I mean, seriously. So
you don't like to admit that, but you're like, I guess it's going to be the same if I'm here or not. So I might.
Well, it really would. And it's not, it's not going, the wheels aren't going to fall off in 2 days or 3 or
Hopefully,
4 days, I should say. But
yeah, all is well. I've helped Colby announce that parade a couple of times. Okay. And that is one of the funnest things ever, because it's always, you get your big book and it's got everybody, every entry, and they do all this lining up. And then about 10 minutes into it, the lineup is completely hammered. So you're like looking, trying to figure out who's next. Like that's 7, and it looks 39. Well, why not? So you're whipping through the book. Finally, we're like, screw it. Colby's on the street. I'm like, oh, our man on the street, Colby. He's like, hey, where y'all from? We just absolutely wing it every year. But it's a total kick. So I hope your dad brings him out. I might have to do a guest appearance on the parade announcement. There's like 6 or 8 different stations that they have set up for the parade route that everybody announces from. And so
see, and I haven't. So if they do end up coming, I'll probably, after what is that parade Saturday, isn't it? So, or is it Friday?
Friday, I think. Yeah.
So I'd have to come back. I mean, it's not that far to Othello. I could come back after the perf on Thursday to watch a parade, but I don't know. So you're talking about that parade list getting all jumbled up. There's a bull sale in Baker, Montana once, and they had, I don't know, I'll just say 150 bulls in this bull sale, and they're going down through, and so lot 158 is the last bull on the catalog, and it's one of the narrow, long ones. And
yeah.
So in walks this bull 159. And the guy's bull, he's got it, he's looking and fumbling and looking around. And
last minute edition.
And then he just says, black bull. And they didn't know any EPDs on him or anything else. He ended up selling for $4,000 or $5,000, but they didn't know what he was or not. Black bull, boy.
Somebody just dropped him off and see what they could get out of him, I think. 159.
Yeah, so I guess that's, I don't know, that's about all I know. There's there's one other thing I'm going to tell you, but I ain't going to tell you on here.
Okay. Well, then in that case,
secrets.
We're going to wrap.
We'll keep some secrets.
We will get to wrapping this episode up. Again, it went by super fast. We've had some great conversation about Cowboys Can Cook, some great places to go eat. We'd like to know where your favorite places are, or if you're feeling squirrely, places not to go. But for all these places that travel around, it's good to spread that good word. Thanks again to all of Joe's sponsors. We'll get them all listed down below. Thanks to Joe for taking some time. And if y'all got questions, comments, get them to us. We'll try to get answers back to you. And just get out there and do some cooking and have a little fun with it. I think that's the main thing. Just experiment, give it a try. If you got questions, great place to get on there. Cowboys Can Cook and just ask, because people are more than willing to give what I consider decent, friendly advice. And so it's one of the best pages I found on Facebook, and glad to be able to be part of it. So until then, until next time, everybody keep on going, keep on reaching, and keep on cooking.